Hello, and welcome to the Chart School Home Study course. I'm Charles Harris, and I'll be one of your instructors. And in a moment, you'll meet Mike Webster, your other instructor. Mike and I are both in-house portfolio managers for Bill O'Neill. Mike and I are really happy to be presenting the Chart School material in a home study course. The audio and workbook in this program are from one of our most recent live Level 3 workshops, so you will get the same experience as if you attended the live event. Mike and I spent countless hours developing the content for this workshop. In selecting the stocks for your workbook, we started with a blank slate and literally went through every stock in each of our model books, covering the biggest winners over the past century. So your workbooks include many new examples that haven't been featured before in other workshops. One of the questions that we invariably get after a workshop is, how can I get one of your model books? Are they for sale? Well, the workbook for this course is ostensibly a model book. Mike and I wanted to put something together that we could use for our own reference. Each of the in-house portfolio managers at our firm have a copy of this workbook, and I rely on mine all the time when I'm evaluating the stocks that I currently own or ones that I'm considering buying. One of the best things about the workbook is that it's organized in such a way that you can easily study numerous examples of the different chart patterns, both bases and topping patterns. And we included past winners from previous decades because we want to emphasize that this approach to the market has stood the test of time and has worked in every market cycle over the past century. So we encourage you to study the examples in your workbook and use it as both a resource and as a reference. In this course, you're going to realize that stock analysis and trading in general is really more art than science. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's true. It would be nice if everything was black and white, but in the stock market, what you typically find are shades of gray. For example, most bases are going to have both good and bad characteristics, and oftentimes it will not be clear-cut as to the action you should take based solely on the technicals. The reality is that even if you're doing everything right, you're going to be wrong sometimes, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. A lot of your trades just aren't going to work out the way you would expect. That's true for all of us. The key thing to realize is that trading is a game of probabilities. There is no certainty when it comes to the market. The best we can do is to try to put the odds of winning in our favor, and we do that by using the CAN-SLIM system, interpreting the charts properly, and following sound rules. You don't have to be right on every trade to be successful. You can make a ton of money even if you're right only half the time, if you have sound money management skills and the discipline to follow the rules. In fact, in my opinion, if you had to choose between having either great stock picking skills on the one hand or great money management skills on the other, I think you'd be much better off with the latter. Sound money management will at least keep you in the game until your stock picking skills improve. But if you're a great stock picker with poor money management skills and no discipline, your results will likely be mediocre at best, and you may end up losing a lot of money. All you need is just one big position that turns out badly, and if you don't know where to cut your loss or don't have the discipline to do so, then you can get wiped out. Thankfully, we don't have to choose between having either great stock picking skills or sound money management skills. And the goal of this workshop is to help you develop both of these abilities because that's what it really takes to become an outstanding investor.
Hi, I'm Mike Webster. I'll be your other instructor. So this is how the workshop will unfold. First, I'm going to cover all the different types of bases and show you how to evaluate their strengths and weaknesses. We'll cover many of the common characteristics that we find in winning stocks and those you want to avoid. We'll go over alternative pivot points that can give you a real head start when buying stocks. We'll also show you how Bill analyzes bases using his unique week-by-week analysis. Then Charles is going to talk about selling. He'll cover warning signs and sell signals that typically occur at the end of a move. We'll present the material a little differently than we have in other workshops, discussing the concept of offensive selling on the way up and defensive selling on the way down. In the second part of the course, we're going to talk about money management and how to handle a position once you have it. We'll review how to build an initial position and show you how to pyramid into that position properly. We'll also discuss the role that personality has on one's trading decisions and review some practical tips to help you become more profitable. What you're not going to get is any of the fundamental analysis that is such an important part of the CanSlim system. This is Chart School, after all, and the focus of this workshop is on charts. So it's assumed that you already know the system. If you feel that you need a refresher on fundamental analysis, you should review the first part of Bill's book, How to Make Money in Stocks. In fact, I believe you should reread at least a portion of his book once a year. I always learn something every time I pick it up. Just a little bit about the two of us. Charles started with the firm back in 1995, then I joined in 1997. We both started out in the firm's research department, and while we were there, we started trading our own personal accounts with the little amount of money that we had at the time. After a lot of hard work, long hours, and learning lessons the hard way, we were both fortunate enough to become portfolio managers for Bill back in 2000. We had the priceless experience of sharing an office with Bill for a few years, and while we were there, we learned a lot of the nuances of chart reading from him firsthand. In this home study course, we're going to try to pass along as many of those nuances as possible. It takes time, effort, and patience to learn how to trade. It's not easy and it doesn't happen overnight. So we'd like to begin by commending you for spending the time and effort to improve your skills. We feel very confident that you're going to find this workshop incredibly valuable. We have a lot of material to cover, so grab your workbook and a pen and let's get started.